Well, good morning. I'm Matt Watts with Trimble. It's good to have everybody in the room today. I am privileged to have a couple of great friends and clients of Trimble here on the stage with me. These two organizations together probably serve more people in the New York City metropolitan area than anybody but maybe MTA, right? When we look at the Housing Authority and the Port Authority together, the number of people that they serve is in the millions. And so the impact that they have on our communities is substantial. There are a couple of great clients of ours, of Trimble. They've used a number of our technology solutions, but particularly the eBuilder platform to manage their long-term capital programs. And they've worked a lot with organizations like STV at LaGuardia and HNTB at JFK. And then, of course, the Housing Authority has worked with the old Aptum organization, a great organization, and then AECOM and another one of our great firms on Indus. And so they're here today to talk a little bit about their utilization of technology and solutions. And I'm going to turn it over right now to Farhan to introduce yourself, if you would.
Yes, my name is Farhan Mirza, and I'm head of Operation and Excellence in the ANCM division of NYCHA. ANCM is responsible for the delivery of capital projects on the 335 developments that NYCHA has. So as Matt said, every 1 in 7 resident of New York City lives in the NYCHA development.
Hi, my name is Daria DeMarchi. I'm a program manager for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. I work for the aviation department, specifically in our customer experience unit. And what I'm responsible for is I manage initiatives and projects that enhance the customer journey at our 4 airports. That's Newark, LaGuardia, JFK, and Stewart. A little bit more about myself. My background is in civil engineering. I started in the engineering department for the Port Authority at JFK Airport, worked in the field as an inspector, boots on the ground, and from there transitioned into project management and program management, and most recently now, for the past 2 years, I look at things at a different lens and looking at it as the audience, the public, the traveling public. How do you feel when you go through our airports, and what can we do to make it better? We value the customer experience. It's one of our priorities, and my passion has become technology and data and leveraging that to, find, opportunities and just make it an enjoyable experience at our airports. Make it a destination. We want you to keep coming to our airports. Thank you.
Thanks, Daria.
Yeah, Matt, I'll just add the Operations and Excellence Department. We are responsible, primarily we provide the project control services to the project management, and PNOE is also responsible or supports the PMIS system that the ANCM is using. We're responsible to implement enhancement and supporting the PMIS for all ANCM staff.
So, Farhan, one of the things we've talked about previously was the Housing Authority currently has 600 active projects in process of either being, planned, designed, delivered, or commissioned. Tell us a little bit about the technology solutions that you guys have used and how you've kept your hands around the 600 project beast.
Yeah, yes, right. We have 600 plus projects at various stages of their life cycle, almost at every instant. We have the minimum 600 projects ongoing. So what we have done is, on the capital size of it, we have implemented eBuilder as our PMIS to manage our capital projects. We created a series of workflows that take us from manage the projects from the project initiation all the way to the closeout. These are structured workflows, and they're automatically directed, and the workflows allow us also to upload all the documents related to a particular process. So we're using the eBuilder as our document management system as well. We have both cost and non-cost. All our the cost workflows like issuing of a new contracts or invoice processing or change order processing is fully integrated with our financial system. We also manage our funding in eBuilder, which is integrated with our financial system, and the project managers manage the funds at the lowest level of every contract, so at the schedule of value levels. And all that data that is generated, we just bring that data through our BI support system into a dashboard, and that provides a various level of governance. We can provide that. So I think the great thing about that is that data is at one place, and there's no conversation on a project that happens outside of eBuilder. Every step or action that we take is taken in eBuilder through a workflow.
Thanks, Ron. So Zaria, one of the things that the Port Authority has dealt with is over the years, you've managed billions of dollars in construction at LaGuardia, at Newark, at JFK, and all of that information has gone into one central system, the eBuilder platform, and all that data is there, and you're transitioning now a number of those projects from capital development and construction into operations and maintenance. So what's the plans for being able to leverage and utilize some of that data captured during construction to hand off into the operations part of the business?
That's a long. I need like a whole day to talk about this. But let me speak on a high level. My experience from LaGuardia redevelopment, similar to NYCHA, we used eBuilder as our project management information system. We held all our project documents there. Mainly though design, construction submittals, requests for information. We call them RFI. I'm reluctant to use acronyms because I'm not sure if everybody knows the acronyms, but non-conformance reports, things of that nature. But yes, now that LaGuardia Terminal B is complete, the way we transitioned all this information, the record drawings, the as-built, that it's easy when you have a capital project and the team is a dedicated team and we're using one system. But now when you're transitioning to your operations maintenance, your procurement, everybody has their own system. And through the years, I've learned now that we're all different, and there will never be just one system. And for us, in the earlier part of this, from 2016, 2017, we were just using emails. Then, personal drives. Now we use OneDrive. We use SharePoint. We have an asset management department that uses Maximo. So those are just some of the systems. There's so many systems, but what the format of how things are shared is something that you start the conversation before you turn over the asset. That's just one part, that transition from, capital project, a brand new construction asset to our operations and maintenance folks. The drawings, the manuals, the training. I can't emphasize how much you need to train people when it comes to, the life safety items such as, your mechanical, your electrical, plumbing, fire alarm systems. But then there's like a whole other group, which now I'm part of, customer experience, where, for example, we have new restrooms, JFK redevelopment, American Airlines Terminal 8, they, completed brand new restrooms. And now we come in and install more technology to capture more data. We have a system called Feedback Now. And we, if you ever, go through the restrooms, I know it's funny to talk about restrooms, but we value the data of how the condition is, the cleanliness is of that restroom. Same thing with, we have wait time systems. We recognize that the customer journey through our airports, one of the things you're planning out is how long am I gonna wait at that TSA checkpoint? What is the wait time? Is it gonna be 5 minutes? Is it gonna be 30 minutes? Do I have the time to get a cup of coffee before I get to my gate? So once, it's actually during construction and post-construction, we, as customer experience, have to work with redevelopment, with construction management, with all the different stakeholders, our tenants, our airlines, and collaborate, schedule our pieces, which is data, technology that will enhance the customer experience. And if I could talk a little bit more, do I have time? Okay, one more thing. So another thing what we do is how do we capture this data besides all the drawings and the construction? We have a thing called Voice of the Customer. That is you, everybody here. If you ever try and hook up to our free Wi-Fi at our airports, there is a survey there. And in that survey, we're gonna ask specific questions, not too many, but we're gonna ask about the crowding, the condition, the cleanliness. And that is tabulated, we get thousands of surveys that are put together as a report. We review that report. We measure ourselves. We want to know our overall performance at all the 4 airports and where there's opportunities to improve. That's one example. Social media, believe it or not, we are looking at X, and it feels weird to say X because I like Twitter better. But we do have social media monitors, and there is a social media report that is collecting all the data as you're going through our airports during the construction phase. And once we complete a new asset, we want that feedback. We recognize that there's always room for improvement. We look at it one way, but as passengers, as customers, you all have a different experience, and we want to make it a positive experience and make it a best, world-class airport, right? LaGuardia is no longer a third world. I think, Terminal B, Terminal C, it's world-class, and those are a couple of examples of just, transitioning the data and then just applying more technology and collecting more data and constantly monitoring it and improving it for the public, for the traveling public.
That's really great. You guys have really done a tremendous job with the airports. It's amazing. I think about the tens of thousands of journeys that begin every day through the Port Authority. And I harken back even to my first trip abroad in middle school. We went overseas for the first time, and we went through JFK, right? So it's a first-time experience for a lot of folks. But you guys are on your own journey now of digital transformation. You described some of the components of it, some of the pieces of it. Now, can you give us a little bigger picture for Port Authority and where you're headed with digital transformation?
Wow, so digital transformation, I want to say it's a lifelong journey. It's not, it's not as simple as just, okay, let's just digitize all this paper and throw it into SharePoint or somebody's OneDrive. It really, I just want to manage expectations, and it takes, looking at your current situation and the reason you want to know, you want to have that reason. Why are you, why do you need to digitize? Why do you want this new software? It's not just because it looks cool and my competitor has it. You need it to make it work for you. And how do you do that? You have to, assess your situation and look at your current workflows and, consider your goals, your mission, and, connect with all your stakeholders. I can't speak for the entire agency because this is I think we could just have a conference on digital transformation. But, for us, specifically, and I'm talking through my lens as customer experience, a couple of things that we are working on is when all these new assets come online, we know the mapping, but as a passenger, it could be a maze going through our airports. So taking some of the drawings and incorporating it into Apple Maps, Google Maps, where we've honed in. We have a good workflow when it comes to roadway changes, and we change. You might think are your way around our airport, and the next week we're going to change it. So we're good at pushing out that information to external partners such as Waze, Apple Maps, Google Maps, the rideshare apps. Now I think for customer experience, we recognize that the interior mapping could use an improvement and help navigate our passengers as well as complement the static wayfinding signage, pedestrian signage, and digital signage, which is also big. We're working on standards. We're developing standards with our consultants as how to make it align with the static and make it accessible. There's a whole science to this that I could talk about all day, but those are two examples I want to just say about digital, wayfinding signs and mapping, interior mapping.
Perfect.
Yes.
Great example. So for Ron, she touched on it, but I think what this really boils down to is the why, right? What's the why? What's the benefits behind the efforts that you guys have put into tools and systems and processes and standardization? What benefits do you get from that?
Okay, I could speak from two points of view. So we're not only being help in implementing our PMIS system, but I've also used it as a project management oversight. So at the project management level, I mean, the systems that I got, or with the help of the PMIS, the way I was able to manage my projects, it was just night and day when we switched into a PMIS or into eBuilder. So the folks that were in construction would probably know. So let's say we have a progress meeting happening at the site. And we have a contractor who comes in and he brings in his 3 weeks of look ahead and says, okay, these are the 3 weeks of activities that I'm going to have to do. Our goal in that meeting is to make sure that we've removed any obstacles that we have on the 3 weeks of work. And then as we go into a next progress meeting, we look into the 3 meetings. We have our program open. The contractor is ready to pour concrete 2 weeks from now. He says there's an RFI. eBuilder's right there. We switch in. RFI opens up. We can look into the documentations. The drawings are all attached there. We can look into this, answer his RFI right there if we can, and move forward. So the help that, or the way that I can execute my project with the help of a BMS is just night and day. I mean, no longer we are running in the dark. And before that, we were sitting in a progress meeting. Contractor brings something up, you're looking for the drawings, you're trying to figure out what that is, you don't know where the RFIs are. It was just a night and day between that execution. At a level at which I'm now, where our goal is part of the implementation and support is, as you said, we have 600 plus projects. Right? And there is no way any organization can have successful delivery without implementing some governance. So all that data that is generated, we bring that data in and provide that information to our levels of management. So for example, at a deputy director level, he's looking at the data. And he's not just relying on project manager reporting on what the project looks like. The information that is provided through our workflows is coming in and say, I'm a project manager. When I was a project manager, very optimistic about things. So I say, oh, everything is going well, right? But if you look into at that level, you will see that the project maybe have 3 or 4, because the workflows are started by the contractor. So contractor is not waiting for you. He's going to start a potential change as soon as he sees something. So if a project is going well, and I look in there, and I'm talking about a deputy director level, the dashboard is going to show, hey, there are 3 potential change orders. There are 10 out of 5. So when I'm providing that governance, I'm going to look into the whole thing. I'm not just going to rely on our project manager, and I'm going to start asking questions to them. Similarly, at a higher level, we provide the data at every level, and that data escalates the issues in time and improves our delivery. So it's the way our BI team has, all that tremendous amount of data that we collect on 600-700 projects, the way they created those dashboards, those reporting for governors. That is the major difference I see from now versus a few years back.
Makes a huge difference to have those kind of tools, and you can't do it without it, like you said, right? And you've got to have those standardizations of processes, of workflows, so that information is routed to the appropriate person at the appropriate time to take the appropriate action. And if they don't, you have visibility to it, right?
Absolutely.
To hold them accountable.
It's totally, completely transparent. And as a project manager, I was not very happy about that part of it. So you could see that, yeah.
Yeah, don't look over my shoulder, but I will happily look over my contractor's shoulder, right? So
Yes.
information lag, I think that's one of the big terms that we hear and we see is the amount of time that it takes to resolve an issue should not take days or weeks or months. It should take minutes or hours, right? And that's what the tools and solutions like this enable. Any closing remarks from you guys?
Well, we're still. I mean, it's an ongoing process. I mean, we can't say we've done everything that we wanted to do, and as we generating this data, we are able to go in and look at that data and say, hey, let's go in and define success. Now we know what that success is going to look like, and we're developing some KPIs and all that around it. So also that is helping us to create some, to be able to manage and set expectations for us.
And Zaria?
I think with digital transformation, recognizing that there's many systems, it's not one system fits all, just making sure that the systems talk to each other. Just like we talk to each other in person, we need the different systems to connect and share the information. So the more we share information, the better we become. I just want to add also, just be patient and don't be afraid to make a mistake. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. So, I think when we start small with pilot programs and then keep expanding it with eBuilder, we started with just one project, the enabling projects back in 2013, utility projects, and then it expanded to 2016 to LaGuardia redevelopment, then Newark redevelopment, JFK redevelopment, and we've applied a lot more workflows and processes, but it took time, and that's one thing, you have to, any change takes time. You will get resistance, and allow it, because some people just don't want technology, but it's here, so you either manage it or it's gonna manage you, but just want you to think about it, keep an open mind. I always say keep an open mind on things, and connect, communication, and I think technology and the data is a great way to get everyone on more or less the same page.
That's excellent. Well, I think a couple of really great case studies from a Trimble standpoint. Trimble appreciates both of you guys' organizations and the professionalism that you bring and the way that you've delivered the projects that you've done so successfully for the people of New York City and beyond. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.